Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. The Prophet ﷺ is reported to have said, خَيْرُ النَّاسِ قَرْنِي ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَلُونَهُمْ ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَلُونَهُمْ. The best of generations is my generation, and then those that follow them, the tabi'een, and then those that came after them. So here the Prophet ﷺ is praising these early generations. Now when we talk about the stories of the companions or those generations, some people say, well, that's living in our past. Or my favorite, well, that was a different time. It's very important to realize something. The human spirit has never changed and it never will change. We always have challenges combating our desires. Maybe now we like cars. Back then they liked horses. But there was still a desire to live in a big house then as there is now. They had gold nuggets, we have bank accounts. It was all the same. But they were the best at handling the challenges of this life. And this is why he, alayhi salam, praised them so. And when something or somebody is the best, what do we do as human beings? We copy them. When the iPhone first came out, you couldn't really find touch screen phones on the market. The ones that were terrible. But what happens now? Almost every top selling phone is a touch screen phone. Why did that happen? Because they saw the success of the iPhone and they copied it. They copied the best. Likewise, we want to copy the best from these generations. Now, sometimes you see people who claim to be following these generations. They're incredibly stubborn. They are narrow-minded. They're very harsh. Well, I will tell you, they are not following these generations. These generations, the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, they were full of mercy, tolerance. They were not narrow-minded. You don't see narrations of one companion saying to another, I am not going to pray behind you like we do, or I'm not going to pray in your masjid as we do. They never did any of that. Another quality to take from them, which often we don't reflect upon, why did they achieve so much? One of the reasons, because they worked really, really hard. And when you work really hard, you achieve extraordinary results. You know, there was a psychologist, his name was Laszlo Polgar. And he wanted to conduct an experiment. He said that anybody with hard work can achieve extraordinary results. He used to say, geniuses are made, not born, especially the younger they start. So what did he do? He said that I'm going to have children and prove this. So first thing he realized is that I need a wife to have children. So he put out an ad like this, and somebody decided to marry him with these conditions. And so what were his results? He ended up having 3 daughters, and he wanted to make them all masters in chess. So he started them from a young age. They worked really hard in this craft. What were the results? 2 daughters reached the level of grandmaster, which is the highest level you can achieve. And 1 reached the level of international master, which is the second highest that you can achieve. And one of his daughters actually was the youngest grandmaster ever in chess history, younger than Bobby Fischer, for those that are familiar with searching for Bobby Fischer. So his hypothesis was proven to be true, that when you work extremely hard, you achieve incredible results, and that's what the Sahaba did. Now, when it comes to working hard in our religion, there's different types. We have physically working hard. So getting up for Fajr, that snooze bar looks awfully tempting, but you push it aside and you get up and you pray your Fajr. Also, fasting in Ramadan, battling thirst, battling hunger, physically working hard. Then we have mentally working hard. And this perhaps is our greatest challenge as Muslims in America. You're sitting on the internet, 5 hours pass and you realize you've done absolutely nothing. You have to fight yourself mentally to do something productive, to not just sit around. So this is mentally working hard. Now from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that the harder we work, the more reward we get. But even if we just work, He will reward us as if we are working hard. You know, I conducted an experiment the other day. I was in my car driving to the gym. It's 10 minutes there and 10 minutes back. So I had a counter that we use to keep track of how many people come to our events. So I just started clicking and saying, Astaghfirullah, oh Allah, forgive me, which is something easy anybody can do. Now, of course, when I was clicking, I was not looking at the counter. I was keeping my eyes on the road. I'm not going to look down at the counter and try to drive. But I just kept clicking, saying Astaghfirullah, calmly, like I was feeling what I was saying. And to my surprise and shock, when I got back home, I looked at the counter, and the number of times I had said Astaghfirullah was 815 times. And so that was something, I didn't do anything special. I didn't take time out of my day. It was something I had to do anyway. yet it will look as if I worked really hard through the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in another video, inshallah, we will talk about how doing good deeds is multiplied. So these are a few things. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the ability to copy the early generations and to work hard to achieving success in this life and the next life. وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.